Because we had their game at Rutgers. They've really struggled late in seasons, and they've struggled late in games, and that's a big key for me today. That defense so banged up. They've given up over 1,000 yards rushing, and they've just been brutalized on that side of the ball.
David Alano kicks it out of the back of the end zone. It's a touchback to begin. It's the third time we've had Maryland this season, Robert. The true freshman quarterback, Malik Washington, and you can tell that week by week, I know there hasn't been wins lately, but week by week, he is getting so much more comfortable.
Yeah, he's getting more comfortable and really incorporating his legs. Last week was such a huge part of the offensive success that they had. Now, 164 yards rushing, less than 100 yards passing, but I think just the threat of Malik Washington's legs can keep a defense honest.
His head coach, Mike Locksley, said, "We truly believe this guy can lead us to a Big Ten championship eventually." Ran for 164 yards last week. He keeps the football here, eludes pressure, and you said it, he can use the legs. He makes a nothing play turn into something for a couple yards on the opening play. Look at that Maryland offensive line, Robert, that has been the same all 10 games this season.
Yeah, and one of only 12 teams in the FBS that's had that same combination with the offensive line. Dewan Williams, great dual threat running back, and on the outside, watch for Knotts and Farouk.
Swings it out. This is Dewan Williams, the running back. They like to line him up as a receiver. His 28th catch this season out of the backfield. And this Illinois defense looks like this for the Illini. That linebacker core led by Gabe Akis, who is just a half a sack shy of second all-time in Illini history.
Boy, he is just a problem for opposing offenses. And, of course, getting Dylan Rosiak back at that linebacker spot, huge for this defense.
Third and less than a yard as the Terrapins try to avoid a 3-and-out to begin the day. Washington rolling right, slings it behind his target, but it's caught by Jalil Farouk, and it moves the chains for Maryland.
Woo, dangerous throw from Malik Washington right there. You never want to be to the inside on these outbreaking routes because that's where the defenders are, but he just flicks that ball, and Farouk does a nice job adjusting, bringing it in, picking up the first down.
Couple of those short passes today from Malik Washington to start the day. He's 2 for 2 through the air. Make it 3 for 3 on back-to-back catches by Farouk. He's got 6, and it's 2nd and 4 coming up.
Yeah, and remember, Pep Hamilton, of course, all those years at Michigan and up at Stanford with David Shaw, had multiple tight end sets, heavier personnel, and that's kind of the way that they wanted to start this season, but they've been a little bit banged up at the tight end position. As you can see here again, more spread out formations.
Caught by Octavian Smith. He had just 1 catch last week against Rutgers, a season low. He's got one here, though, and it's a first down.
And remember, Mike Locksley was a play caller a year ago, brings in Pep Hamilton, who he's known for a long time. Pep Hamilton had been at Howard, and when Pep Hamilton left Howard in the late 90s is when he first met Mike Locksley. Brings him in here to call the plays this year. And really the change that you've seen is they really want to spread the defense out. They want the offensive formations more spread out, and they want to put some conflict on those overhang type defenders with the run pass option.
Give it off to Williams. He's got a crease, and he bolts through it. Stiff arms a defender before he's dragged down at the 35. It's a 16-yard pickup.
Well, here we're going to see good old-fashioned pullers, though. That good old gap scheme. We talked about the history of Pep Hamilton. You get that gap scheme, and you get Fleming, who's a great catching tight end, but a dual threat. He's also a great lead blocker, and you could see him there on the counter leading up the way for Dewan Williams.
Those early quick passes on this drive opened up the run, and a big gash play for Dewan Williams of 16. Another play for Williams, cutting back to the middle, and he's swung to the ground after 5 yards by Malachi Hood.
Well, it doesn't look like a whole lot, partner, but I just love that run there from Dewan Williams. I mean, it's a nice pickup on first down. Nice job with a patient run. And we talk so much about running back tracks, and the track is the path that you're supposed to take as you get the ball. He took such a good track, started it out wide, was patient with the run, was able to cut that thing back. Huge pickup on first down.
8th play of the drive coming up. Nolan Ray's first touch today with a stutter step, and he's pushed across the 25. That is the line to gain, and the signal is first down.
Well, they've really done a little bit of everything today. We talked about that experienced offensive line, one of only 12 offensive lines in FBS that's had the same starter in each game, and they really have been dominant up front. But you see some of the formational changes, some of the things that Pep Hamilton wants to do. You go from some of those condensed formations to those spread formations, really making the defense defend the whole field.
Farouk in motion ahead of a first down. Fake it, caught. Shalik Knotts, 4th different receiver involved on this opening drive for Maryland, and it's another first down after 11 yards.
When we talk about that conflict and what those run-pass options, what happens is you have defenders that are a part of the fit, meaning that they have some run-stopping responsibilities. When you get that run-pass option, they see that play-action fake up into the inside, and they stay in there, leaves those openings, and Malik Washington looking very efficient on this first drive.
5 for 5 for the true freshman quarterback, completing a pass to 4 different targets. Back to the ground, DeJuan Williams charging down to the 11 for 3 more. And it's overshadowed a little bit, Robert, because it came in the loss last week. But this is a Maryland offense that finally got the run game figured out last week.
Yeah, they got the run game figured out, and especially that QB run. And that becomes so much more important down here in the red zone because you don't have to defend those deep passes. You can get extra bodies up into that front to stop the run, but the QB run equalizes those numbers.
Washington looking right, tried to throw it into double coverage, and that's his first incompletion of the day, looking for A.J. Szymanski.
Big third down, and this is something that Maryland wants to be good at. Everybody wants to be good in the red zone. Drop that ball all the way down here. You want an opportunity to come away with 6 and not just 3.
They are last in the Big Ten in red zone touchdown percentages. Just 38% of their red zone drives result in 6.
Got Knotts lined up here on the left side.
He looks that way, one-on-one to the corner of the end zone. It's juggled and incomplete. Torrey Cox had the coverage, and it's 4th down.
Well, a great job by Cox. Lined up here. Watch him force Knotts to the sideline. Sideline's his friend right there. You're taking that space away. Doesn't even to get his eyes back around on that one. He knows that receiver, hey, he's got to use his hands and his arms to catch that football. You can't get to the ball. Attack the hands and the arms.
You brought it up yesterday in the meetings. Torrey Cox is the man-to-man lockdown corner for Illinois, forces the incompletion in a 4th down, and Sean O'Hare converts to give Maryland a 3-0 lead, 1 drive in on FS1. The Illini ranked in the top 10 for the first time in 24 years to begin the season when they were 3-0 and number 9 in the nation. But then 3 Big Ten losses, 2 of which have come to the top 2 teams in the country. Ohio State and Indiana has them at 6-3 overall. But it's an offense led by Luke Altmyer, Robert, that is on pace to have their highest scoring offense ever.
Yeah, and we talked about it in the open. Barry Lunney Jr., the offensive coordinator, the control that he gives to Luke Altmyer is because of the command that this senior has of the offense. And we also talked about his versatility, not known for the run, but 88 yards rushing last time out against Rutgers. Watch that today.
The quarterback that leads the way, Luke Altmyer, 3rd year as a starter here at Illinois. They give him the freedom to do as much as he wants. He's coming off of a 5 total touchdown game 2 weeks ago against Rutgers.
Yeah, and he's also coming off of a Halloween where Brett Bielema's daughter dressed up as Luke Altmyer, which certainly gives you all kinds of freedom as the quarterback now, but his daughters love him. But just a tremendous player, and he's one of those kind of guys, he's been around this program so long. He's just always making plays and just tough as nails. Quintessential quarterback.
He's had a pair of 300-yard passing games this season. He keeps it, slings it out to the near sideline, and the pass is caught for a short gain by Hank Beatty. Well, an Illinois offensive line that has 3 different guys that have started at least 22 consecutive games.
Yeah, and they're going to want to pound the football. We talked about this Maryland defense. Over the last 4 games, they've given up more than 1,000 yards rushing, and they're very banged up, and they hadn't been stopping the run very well. With Fagan, Valentine, and Lawfrey all healthy, the Illini are going to try and establish that run.
That includes 240 to 1 guy last week, Antoine Raymond from Rutgers. Khalil Valentine with a nice patient run behind that line before he bolts forward to the 30. 3rd down coming up as this Maryland defense tries to get off the field on a 3-and-out.
Yeah, and on this defense, you can see Sidney Stewart, one of those true freshmen, excellent true freshman. Mathis, another one banged up, and at that linebacker spot, even Wingate's been
officials
hurt.
Timeout for an injury.
So we got an injury out here on the field.
And that's Jamari Glasker, too, the cornerback who had an interception in 3 straight games before last week. A big piece of that defense for Mike Locksley's team.
Boy, it's a shame to see any player down, but Glasker, such a big part of that defense.
We'll take the injury timeout with them. Maryland up a field goal early. We've got more college football coming up next on FS1 as Purdue travels out to Seattle to take on Washington. Then under the lights in the Mountain West, Wyoming battles Fresno State. That's at 10:30 Eastern, all on FS1. Quadruple header today on FS1. As Jamari Glasker was just helped off the field there. Maryland cornerback who's been so great, especially of late. 3 straight games with an interception before last week. Broke up a couple passes in that game against Rutgers a week ago.
Yeah, and the real problem, though, I mean, the defense, especially in that front 7, just so banged up. And Glasker, one of 3 guys with 3 interceptions on that back end. You hate to lose any guys, but especially a guy like Glasker that really inserts himself in the run and the pass.
That defense without him on the field will try to start the day with a 3-and-out. 3rd and 5. Altmaier sets, lofts it to the sideline. It's pulled in. Hudson Clement through 2 defenders, moves the chains.
Yeah, he moves 2 defenders. Looks like he moves rolling back with a little push. Watch the push off that he gets away with right. That way you can't see it right there. From the other angle, you can see it. Crafty wide receiver is Hudson Clement, the transfer from West Virginia.
Savvy vet. Oh, they're going to take a look to see if Clement actually made the catch there on the sideline.
Because that ball comes out, but he wasn't going to the ground. He wasn't going to the ground. I think that he had already established that it was a catch.
Right.
He had made a football move, element of time, steps. I don't know if we'll have a rules expert come in and comment on that, but it looked like the catch had already been established and that he was not going to the ground as he was catching the ball, which would have been the difference right there. That ball's already caught. He's not bobbling it at all until right there when he hits out of bounds.
And he, like you said, he established the catch. I think, anyways, that was 4 steps before the ball started coming loose.
I think this will be a quick review. And of course, I'm wrong. There it is.
After review, the receiver went to the ground and lost the ball. It's an incomplete pass.
Wow.
It'll be 4th and 5 at the 30-yard line.
I cannot believe that.
I would love to have a rules expert comment on that one, because if you're going to the ball as you're catching, or if you're going to the ground as you're catching the ball, it's one thing. It's something completely different to establish possession of the ball in bounds and then get knocked to the ground and the ball come loose.
Well, that's huge. Wipes away a 25-yard gain and a first down, and instead Illinois' got to punt it away, and Jalil Farouk calls for the fair catch at the 25. Halfway through the first quarter, Maryland up 3-0 with the ball next. 3-0 Maryland halfway through the first quarter. We do have our rules expert with us, Steve Stremling. Steve, Robert and I thought that catch was going through the process was complete. The officials said no. What'd you see here?
Yeah, we agree. You know, we have the control, we have the body part down. There is the time element. If he's going to the ground prior to the time element, then we can see that. We felt that he did complete that while he was upright. He did get hit, took a couple of more steps before he went down. They ruled catch on the field. We would have preferred that they stayed with that call.
Yeah, I think that makes us all three in the same boat there as Nolan Ray gets just back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Hey, Steve, just clarification on one point. Does it matter going to the ground if the receiver is just going to the ground in the process of the catch, or if they get knocked down by a defender sometime in that period when the ball first comes in?
It's the same whether he's knocked down or going on his own. He's got to complete that time element, whether he's going on his own or whether he's knocked to the ground. Both are the same. He's got to complete the process going to the ground.
Thanks, Steve.
Got it. Thank you. Second and long, Malik Washington was 5 for 5 to start on the opening drive, and a drive that resulted in 3 points. Ooh. Goes up top to Octavian Smith, who climbs the ladder. Wow.
Wow. Wow is absolutely right. Malik Washington, great throw, a little bit high on him, but watch Octavian Smith go up, and it looks like he lands on his head. Going to the ground here as his legs get taken out from underneath him by Tanner Heckel. Hangs on to that ball. What a catch.
Season low 1 catch last week against Rutgers. He already has 2 in this first quarter, and that's something Pep Hamilton, the offensive coordinator, said it is an emphasis this week to get our receivers going. Handoff to Ray. Spins away from one, but stacked up immediately for no gain. Dylan Rosiak is there to make the stop.
Well, we talk about Rosiak being back from that injury, and you don't hear this term used a lot for linebackers, but Aaron Henry, in talking about Dylan Rosiak, said, guy's slippery. It's nice to have those slippery linebackers that can kind of find those creases.
It's James Thompson who's down on the ground for the Illini, starting defensive end, who they call Mr. Reliable. Been such a big piece of that front 3 for Illinois.
Yeah, and Pep Hamilton, offensive coordinator for Maryland, when he asked about Jalen Thompson, hey, that guy's a problem. They're having a conversation with him there. And you can see that wind whipping around, pant legs flying around. Could become an issue later today.
There's a look at Aaron Henry, defensive coordinator for Illinois. Said the big focus this week is slowing down Malik Washington. Said that's a young quarterback, but man, is he talented, have a really bright future, and we have to make him uncomfortable. But so far, he's been pretty comfortable. 6 of 8 through the air, through the first drive plus.
Yeah, and I think credit Pep Hamilton, the offensive coordinator, really changed up a lot of the looks. And here we go with the 2nd and 10. And it was funny in talking to Brett Bielema, he was talking about his focus over the bye week. And hey, he was still burning the candle at both ends. He fell asleep at the facility a couple of times. He asked the coaches, like, what play is played most in football? Of course, it's first down, and they did a very good job on first down. Here it is, setting up a 2nd and 10.
Washington snaps it to the sideline, completed pass. Jalil Farouk's 3rd catch, picks up 8 and makes this 3rd down a whole lot more manageable.
Yeah, and you're going to see Juice Clark come on the blitz. And this is what Aaron Henry talked about, changing up the pictures, trying to make Malik Washington, the true freshman quarterback, a little bit uncomfortable. Wasn't phased at all right there. Pep Hamilton had an answer for him, and he calmly delivered. See if they can deliver here on the 3rd and short. This is a problem with an offense that hasn't run the ball consistently all season long. Can you do it when you need to do it in these third and short situations?
They give it to Ray, slips away from one. He gets to the 48, which is the line to gain. There has been no signal yet, and it looks like he's a little bit shy. 4th and less than a yard coming up.
Yeah, no question about it. This was a left foot, right foot. He had a 53-yarder last week, but some penetration along that Illini front made him stop his feet in the backfield. But they're going to line up and go for it on 4th down. This may be a QB sneak. Remember, you got Malik Washington, 6'5", 230-pound quarterback. But he doesn't go under center a whole lot.
And he won't here either. Let's see if they snap it. 4th and 1 from just inside midfield. They will snap it. Handoff. Ray lunging forward. Torrey Cox got there to make the stop.
Wow.
I think this might be a little bit short, Robert.
I think it is. And initially, it looked like he had the first down, but you saw the officials come running in. Right foot, left foot. That's going to be short.
Yeah, it looks like it. Where they placed it's a little bit shy of the 48. Illinois gets a stop on 4th down, and the Illini take over in great starting field position.
We're going to take a look at this one again. We've got to see the spot on this, but as it is right now, the Illini rise up on 4th down. They'll either have the ball or maybe not after a review.
Time for today's Game Flow, sponsored by Progressive, on a gorgeous 72-degree November afternoon in Champaign, Illinois for Big Ten football. There are more T-shirts in Geese Memorial Stadium than there are coats today. That's how nice it is in Champaign.
You were wearing jorts coming over here today,
I
right?
was, yeah. Sure was. Still have them on, actually.
You got the jorts, and I got my fanny pack. We were styling headed over here.
Illinois' defense got a big stop right before the last timeout. They take over on their own 49. Let's see if they try to turn that turnover into a shot on the first play. They will look for it. Altmaier rolling right, now tucks it, takes off, and dives forward to the 46 to pick up 5 on the first play of the drive and into Maryland territory.
Great call there, partner. Sudden change. Go for the shot play. Looked like he was trying to hit Colin Dixon. Touchdowns in each of the last 3 games. But that Maryland defense, nice job in the coverage.
Learned a thing or two from working with you all season.
Actually, good stuff, huh? Wow.
Here's Valentine. Straight up the gut. About a yard shy. He gets down to the 42 before Daniel Wingate, the leading tackler for Maryland's there for the stop.
Going to set up a 3rd and short situation. And we talked again about this Maryland defense and just kind of what a pounding they've taken. They've given up more than 1,000 yards rushing over the last 4 games, and they just don't have fresh bodies. They got guys banged up today. See if they can hold up here on this 3rd and short.
Jamari Glasgow is back in the game, the cornerback for Maryland after he went out last drive. Fake the toss, deliver underneath. It's caught, and it's a first down for Hank Beatty.
Boy, I love the play call here from offensive coordinator Barry Lunney Jr. You get a 3rd and short situation like that. Get those linebackers with their eyes in the backfield expecting run, not expecting to look up a crosser like Beatty coming across.
Second catch already today for Hank Beatty, who's top 5 in the Big Ten in receiving yards. Here's a first down. Valentine, great penetration from Maryland's front. They drive him backwards, and it's Bryce Jenkins, one of those guys they did get back this week from injury.
Watch Ian Thomas. 6'3", 328 pounds, right in the middle of that defensive front. You could see him fighting through that block of J.C. Davis, the left tackle. Because of that penetration, allows cavalry come clean it up.
Hank Beatty, the wide receiver, is in the backfield. Now he's motioned out. Slings it. Far side, caught near the 30. It's a third down and about 5 coming up after Cole Rusk's first catch today.
Boy, it's good to see Glasgow back out on that defense. And getting a little bit of that rotation on the front. Cam Rice coming in. Another one of 7 graduates on this Maryland team. But they need to keep those bodies fresh. It's going to be so important after the rushing yardage that they've given up over the last 4 weeks, and last week alone. Got to keep those guys fresh.
Maryland is without Trey Reddick, a top 3 tackler on this team this week. Altmaier's going to hold on to it on a third down, following a block as he slips through for a first down. Well, as we're talking about the depth issues for Maryland, Daniel Wingate, the top tackler for Maryland, is down the ground that last play. He is up and moving now, but is slowly limping off the field.
Yeah, and Ted Monachino, the defensive coordinator, had talked about Daniel Wingate and talked about him being banged up. Looked like he may have re-aggravated an injury there. You know, you get guys like that, especially linebackers, man, just a different mentality. They'll do anything they can. Just tape it up, coach. Let me try and get out there, and just tweaks that thing a little bit. But on the other side, Barry Lunning Jr., the offensive coordinator, he talked about the self-scouting process that they went through in that bye week. And we talked about Luke Altmaier, only 108 rushing yards on the season coming in, but 88 of those came the last time they played a couple of weeks ago against Rutgers. Big third down there, big third down conversion with his legs there.
Altmaier wants to throw on first down, floats it to the end zone. Touchdown, Hudson Clement. Second of the year for the West Virginia transfer, and a 22-yard catch and touchdown gives Illinois its first lead today.
Excellent touch on this throw from Luke Altmaier, and I thought Scruggs was going to be able to get over there, but just enough air on that ball for Hudson Clement to pull it in for the touchdown.
Please adjust the game clock to 1 second. There is 1 second left in the quarter.
You never know when those seconds can come in handy. David Alano on the point after, drives it straight down the middle.
You see Clement on the outside, a little out and up. Cornerback almost tackled him as he was turning back upfield, and Scruggs just not able to cover enough ground to get over there and disrupt that pass.
Hudson Clement had not had a receiving touchdown all season. He's now got back-to-back weeks with one, and Brett Bielema's team takes a 7-3 lead right before the end of the first quarter. What a job he's done in his time here. In his 5th season, has led Illinois to being bowl eligible in back-to-back years for the first time since 2010 and 2011. And he is 1 win away from having the most ever by an Illinois coach through the first 5 years.
Yeah, and talking to Coach Bielema and kind of his philosophy and how he developed it as a coach, and some of the changes, attention to detail. You know, I asked him if his time with Bill Belichick was the difference, and he really talked about Kirk Ferentz.
Yeah.
And kind of the way that he coaches coaches, the way that he self-scouts. And we talked briefly about Coach Bielema sleeping over at the facility during the bye week, staying after, kind of doing some self-scouting, evaluating, taking deep dives. And so what was the big deep dive this time? He said second down. Like, I just love it, the attention to detail that some of the coaches have.
Final play of the first quarter, Jalil Farooq's third catch, spins away from one and stays on his feet before he's dropped at the 30. 1 quarter through from Champaign on a beautiful day.
That's the end of the first quarter.
7-3 Illinois on top of Maryland, 15 minutes in here on FS1. An Illinois touchdown right before the end of the first quarter has given the Illini their first lead of the day, up 7-3 on Maryland. And the Terps not getting that 4th and 1 from midfield, Robert, looms pretty large now because Illinois took over great starting field position and drove right down for a touchdown.
Yeah, and of course, Maryland, last time they got into the red zone, only came away with 3 points. So little things like that add up over the course of the game.
Free play. Washington launches down the sideline, incomplete, but again, that was a free play as they got Illinois to jump off sides.
Offside. Defense number 4. The 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
It's Daniel Brown who jumps offside. First down for Maryland now. Terps trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. The first 3 were by a combined 10 points. Close game after close game. But lost by 45 to Indiana a couple weeks ago. Lost by 15 to Rutgers last week. Fake the handoff. Washington snaps it over the middle. That's incomplete. Torrey Cox was there on the coverage. They were looking for Caleb Webb.
Boy, and Matthew Bailey playing with that club from that safety spot. He's lined up like a nickel linebacker on that last play. Almost gets that paw over there, deflects that thing. Boy, such a great player. Pep Hamilton, the offensive coordinator for Maryland, was talking about Bailey and says, yeah, he's a lot like Ron Landry. Just one of those playmakers.
Top tackler on this team, Matthew Bailey, was honorable mention All Big Ten a season ago. Washington over the middle, caught. Farooq again twisting down near midfield. He's got 13 and a first down.
Nice job from Malik Washington here. And he's gotten so much better with those catch and throw type plays. You know, as a true freshman, especially when you make some changes during the course of the season, we talked about that change to more of those run pass option, a lot more of those play action type plays. He's gotten much better with his ball handling and his accuracy coming out of those fakes.
He's under center now for the first time today. Play action, stepping up in the pocket. He cannot escape. Pat Farrell off the edge with his 2nd sack of the season.
Boy, and Akis is just going to keep working from this side of the defense as well. Look at that double team, and he's going to fight his way back in there, and he's the one that forces Malik Washington up into the line of scrimmage. Everybody else is there to make that stop. Boy, Akis is one of those guys, you know, this such a great athlete, high school, all-state wrestling state champ. Great bend for a big guy off the edge.
Underneath to Farooq, that's knocked away. Really good coverage from Juice Clark, the cornerback who missed the first 4 games of the season, but he's come into that #1 cornerback role since.
A big third down here, and Aaron Henry, the defensive coordinator, he's talked about the way that this defense has changed, some of the input that he's gotten from Brett Bielema, some of the things that they want to do. You know, with Xavier Scott going down earlier, I know it's been a while. They played less man-to-man, showing man-to-man here. We'll see if they back off into a zone.
Need 13 yards to keep the drive going. Washington has time. Fires off his back foot. It's incomplete. Caleb Webb tried to lay out for it, but couldn't come away with it, and the punt unit comes on the field for the Terrapins.
Yeah, and we had talked about Juice Clark on the previous play. And this time, does an excellent job in coverage, because that's where Malik Washington wanted to go at first, playing in that tight man-to-man coverage. Couldn't get to his wide receiver, and then even when the play broke down, Juice Clark did a nice job plastering to the wide receiver.
Bryce McPherson on to punt. The lethal punt return man, Hank Beatty, lets it fly over the back of his head, and it rolls into the end zone for a touchback on a 55-yard punt. 7-3 lead for Luke Altmyer. He comes out next. Luke Altmyer in Illinois with a 7-3 lead early in the second quarter, and Altmyer is our player profile sponsored by Google. And look at the difference between year 1 and years 2 and 3. Barry Lunney, the offensive coordinator, was telling us yesterday, Robert, as you can imagine, year 1, he was playing very cautious and playing not to make mistakes. They gave him the freedom to play as free as possible, and that's allowed him to take off the last 2 years.
Yeah, and even with that freedom, you could see the interception count go down. And, of course, Barry Lunney Jr., we were joking about his performance against Peyton Manning back in 1995 and that loss that Arkansas had. Lunney had a better QB rating.
Altmyer down the seam, incomplete, and Justin Bowick takes a hit afterwards from Jalen Husky.
Yeah, and Altmyer just floated that ball a little bit, trying to hit Bowick up the seam. A little bit behind, a little bit high. Bowick paid the price, but he's okay. Getting back to the huddle. I'm sure Luke will apologize for him. Sorry for hanging you out there like that, man.
Handoff, Caden Fagan, the big 255-pound running back with a patient run for 6 yards to bring up 3rd and 4.
But this is something that this Maryland defense cannot afford. We talked about the runs that have occurred against this defense over the last 4 weeks, and now with Daniel Wingate out at that linebacker spot, you've got Flowers and a young C.J. Smith at that linebacker spot because Trey Reddick, one of their leading tacklers, is also out.
2 starting linebackers, 2 of the top 3 tacklers not in the game right now for Maryland. Caught for a first down. That's Tanner Arkin's first catch, the tight end from Fort Collins, Colorado.
Yeah, Arkin's just going to work his way across the field here. And Barry Lunney Jr., the offensive coordinator, he talked about the way that the progressions work. They're going to see if he had control of that ball. That thing may have popped out as he was going to the ground. Actually, looks like they're talking to Loxley about a
The ruling on the previous play was a catch. The play is under further review. The review was initiated by the replay official.
Yeah, so as he's going to the ground here, this ball may pop out. May hit the ground. Ooh, no catch. That's going to be overturned.
So we think. You and I have not had a good track record today.
Yeah, but we were backed up by the rules experts. Steve said that we were right and the officials were wrong, of course. No, I didn't say that, but thought that call should have stood. But this one clearly looks like he didn't have control and that ball hits the ground.
If that's the case, it'll be the second time today that Illinois had a 3rd down conversion wiped away after a replay.
You can see right there as that ball comes free.
It looked like for a moment he was going to get that hand underneath the football,
yeah.
But then as he rolled over it, that football clearly.
Yeah, and the ball can hit the ground during the process of a catch if you've got control of it, but that's anything but clear control, and the ball seems to turn as it hits the ground.
Well, why don't we bring in Steve Stremling again, our rules expert. Steve, what are you seeing on this play?
Yeah, we're seeing what you're seeing. As he's going to the ground, the ball does become loose. As it hits the ground, he's not in control, and that should create an incomplete pass.
Steve, thank you. You can see right there, ball just rolls over.
And turns 90 degrees.
Yeah.
That's a kind of like the definition of not controlling it, I think. You can see they're resetting the chains here.
After review, it is an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down and 3 at the 27-yard line.
Fans not happy about it, but that's to be expected. Seemed like a good call.
Second time today, there was a 3rd down catch that they went to replay on that was then overturned, and the punt unit has to come out again for Illinois. Keelan Crimmins on to punt it. Jalil Farouk back to return for Maryland, and he calls for the fair catch at the 35. Well, we talked right off the top for Maryland. They began the year 4-0. They won the Big Ten opener against Wisconsin. And a lot of that was done because the true freshman quarterback Malik Washington has been fantastic this season. The defense has also backed it up as well. 17 interceptions, leads the Big Ten, 2nd in the country. But through some of those positives, Robert, it's a team that's lost 5 consecutive games, and the first 3 of those were incredibly close games.
Yeah, and you never want to make excuses, and coaches would never accept excuses, but this is certainly a young team. Almost 70% of the production on the offensive side has come from underclassmen. And of course, you have a true freshman quarterback, but this is a guy they just say is different. Mike Locksley and Pep Hamilton, the offensive coordinator, they've known Malik Washington since he was in the 8th grade. Say the guy never changes.
False start will back up Washington in this offense.
Offense number 66, 5-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
Yeah, Lou Ba wasn't even close on that one. He was excited. He was going to be pulling on that one. He's like, I'm going to go ahead and get going on this. 6'6", 327 pounds. Redshirt junior out of Memphis. It's tough to get that much weight going.
Making his 22nd consecutive start at right guard. Flips it out. Octavian Smith with a nice adjustment, turning back to catch that football. And he turns upfield to pick up 9 yards.
Boy, what a play by Octavian Smith. It's that little individual effort. I want you to watch towards the end of the run, a little stiff arm action, able to keep the defender off of his legs, pick up that extra yardage. And after that big penalty, it's huge.
Already his 3rd catch today after coming off a season-low 1 reception last week against Rutgers. Got him involved early. DeJuan Williams bouncing off a tackler, and he falls forward to pick up about 3 yards. 3rd and 3 upcoming for the Terrapins.
And that's one Alan Heron. Find some work, man. You can't have offensive linemen standing in the hole. He doesn't see anybody to block, and his back Williams just runs right into him. But here it is, 3rd down. Pep Hamilton talks about the improved decision-making of Malik Washington. See what he has in store for us here.
Maryland 0 for its last 3 on 3rd down.
Man to man.
Washington batted down at the line of scrimmage. Angelo McCollum got his paw up there to knock the football away, and Illinois gets the football back.
You called it, partner. Big number 44, Angelo McCollum from Pickerington, Ohio, just to the the east side of Columbus. Gets that paw up. It was that penetration getting all the way back there to Washington and getting that left hand up. Got a righty quarterback, get that left hand up, knock that thing down.
McPherson to punt it away. Hank Beatty calling for the fair catch at the 10. That's where the Illini drive will start on the other side. Luke Altmaier and company up 7-3, trying to extend the lead early 2nd quarter. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but his are the only ones that matter. Colin Cowherd is the most interesting man in sports. Don't miss The Herd weekdays at noon Eastern, only on FS1. And funny enough, that's what Robert's been telling me all season, that everyone can have their own opinion, but his are the only ones that are right.
Come on now. You said you learned some things from me this season.
Yeah.
It might as well be something useful. Like, yeah, you learned. Hey, I'm always right. Except when I'm wrong.
There you go.
Like with the call earlier.
Brett Bielema's team up 7-3. The offense does take over. Backed up at their own 11.
See Daniel Wingate back in at that linebacker spot. Going to give it another shot. I'm sure he got another tape job over there. Great to see him out there.
Leading tackler for Maryland. He went out 2 drives ago, missed the entire last drive, but back out in the field now as Khalil Valentine hops through the defense for a short gain of 1 yard. And to be without Trey Reddick and then a drive without Daniel Wingate, your 2 leading tacklers at the linebacker, it's good to have at least one of those guys back.
It is, but what's even better is to have freshmen like Bryce Jenkins, number 57, who rose up on that last play. 6'6", 350 pounds, getting the penetration. Next man up mentality.
Low snap to Altmaier. Improvises, uses the legs, takes off. He's got a first down as he squeezes between 2 defenders out to the 26 for 14 yards.
Well, Mr. Excitement here. I can't tell if this was a design run or not. Looks like he just took off there. You can see why Brett Bielema's daughter wanted to dress up as Luke Altmaier, put on a little superhero.
They go up tempo, and that is through the hands of Colin Dixon. Second leading receiver for Illinois this season, second down.
And this is what you want to do. Barry Lunney, the offensive coordinator, he knows what kind of depth issues this Maryland team has and the problems that they've had, particularly in fourth quarters of games. Been outscored 82-27. Try and get those guys tired early. Go with some of the tempo.
We've seen it the last couple drives now. Slow it down here before this play on 2nd and 10. And Altmaier lunging forward. He gets 3. He has been the leading rusher today for Illinois. The quarterback has ran it 4 times for 30 yards.
Ted Monachino, the defensive coordinator, talked about some of the issues that they've had on defense, and he said too many one-on-one tackles, not enough hats at the football. But a nice job there converging on it, and Messiah Delhomme ends up making the stop.
3rd and 7. Altmaier in the pocket, rolling left, lost the football, picks it up, but then he's dropped immediately. Zaire Mathis was there as soon as Altmaier picked up the football, and it's 4th down on a loss of 11.
And this one just looks like it's going to be an unforced error. Little 9-on-9 crime, just scares him. Sees those arms go up. And Luke, you know, sometimes in these windy conditions, when that ball gets really, really dry, it can get a little bit more slick, especially as it's cooling off here in the evening.
In all fairness, Zaire Mathis would scare a lot of people. This is a really high, short punt. Octavian Smith calling for the fair catch in plus territory. By far the best starting field position that Maryland has had today at the 46 on just a 28-yard punt.
Complimentary football. Something Mike Locksley talked about. We wanted to see, said we got to score 28 points to win the game. We got to be able to stop the run. We need one big play in the kicking game, and sometimes field position, just a popped up punt like that after a nice defensive stop, this could be an opportunity to hop back in this one.
Drive starts the plus 46 for Maryland. They've got an opportunity to retake the lead. Quick pass. Caleb Webb escapes one tackler before he's ushered out of bounds near the 30. A great start to this drive for Maryland after a pickup of 15.
Again, we talked about Aaron Henry saying that they're going to play more zone coverage, softer coverage on the outside, and Pep Hamilton, the offensive coordinator for Maryland, said, you give us free access, we're going to take advantage of it.
On first down, pump fake, gets rid of it quickly. Oh, that was dangerous. Dylan Rosiak was right there and almost came up with the football.
And Aaron Henry, the defensive coordinator, also told us really wants to change up those looks and cause some difficulty for Malik Washington changing that picture, because he thinks it's going to be zone again. That time they man it up. He took away his target, Dorian Fleming, in the middle of the field. Couldn't find anybody else.
Quickly flares it out to the running back Williams, and he is swarmed immediately by Torrey Cox. Loss of a yard and 3rd and long coming up for the Terrapins.
Well, you talked about Torrey Cox, partner. What a great pass coverage guy he is, but physical as well. 32 tackles on the season coming in. Another one right there. Big 3rd down.
Can the true freshman convert? Washington escapes the pocket to the left, rolling, throws against his body, completes it near the 25 to Dorian Fleming, but it is well short of the marker. And the field goal unit comes out for Mike Locksley's team. As you can see, the frustration there, not able to pick up a first down.
And Pat Farrell, right from Oak Lawn, Illinois, St. Rita. You know, Aaron Henry said, we want to flush Malik Washington out of the pocket, get him rolling. Of course, you get a right-handed quarterback rolling to his left, harder to make those completions.
43-yard attempt for Sean O'Hare on a windy day. And he drills it right down the middle for his 2nd made field goal of the day. And Mike Locksley's team pulls within a point here on a beautiful day in Champaign. The Big Ten standings are sponsored by Discover. Everybody chasing the top 2 teams in the country, Indiana and Ohio State, the lone unbeatens, with 3 teams all with 1 loss, quickly following behind them. Don't forget to tune into the Discover Big Ten Championship game presented by Discover December 6th on Fox. And it certainly feels like we're on a collision course, Robert, to see Indiana and Ohio State play in that Big Ten title game.
Certainly does, partner. My state against your state.
All that's left standing between Indiana and an undefeated season is Purdue, who's 0-7 in Big Ten play.
Undefeated regular season.
Correct. Thank you. But still, to say undefeated regular season, be talking about Indiana football, that's crazy.
Awesome. It really is.
Brad Weimer, our producer, who is a Michigan fan, said Robert doesn't know what an undefeated regular season looks like because they always lose to Michigan. Interesting. I'm just airing out everybody's troubles today.
I know. He's so lucky they kicked that late field goal to beat Northwestern today. Nothing against Northwestern, but Michigan should have lost.
1-point lead for Luke Altmaier and this Illinois offense, who have gone a couple drives in a row without being able to move the football after that touchdown drive. Ted Monachino and this Maryland defense have stood strong through a couple injuries today. An Illinois offense that only has 70 total yards in this first half. It's a handoff. Valentine trying to shake away from one, but he got stacked up, and there is a swarm of white jerseys there for just 1-yard pickup.
Well, what I love about this defense is the intensity, physicality that you're seeing today. Ted Monachino, of course, the defensive coordinator, but in talking to Mike Locksley, he's like, these young players on the defensive side and on the team in general, like, they're too inexperienced to be discouraged about a 5-game losing streak. These guys are just showing up and playing. A lot of pointing fingers. You're pointing at Ian Thomas.
Delay a game. Defense number 4.
Disconcerting signals, please.
5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
He said clapping signal, but disconcerting signal's my favorite one.
Well, regardless, it is a 5-yard penalty against Maryland. Nasir Taylor saying, "What'd I do?" Arkin in motion. Here's a toss. Valentine sifting through the defense on the left side. He leaps forward to the 34. He's about a yard shy of a first down before Keyshawn Flowers is there.
Yeah, nice open field tackle from Keyshawn Flowers. Just a sophomore. You see him lined up right in the middle of the defense here. Nice job scraping. Nice inside out. Takes the legs out. Good form. Another player from Maryland. And that's a good thing about being at Maryland. You can recruit DC, Maryland, Virginia. You got a pretty good shot at putting together a pretty good team.
Here's the give. Valentine's got the first down. He's dragged down by Levan Scruggs, but well after he got the yardage he needed.
Boy, and that's one where Flowers just kind of guessed wrong and picked the wrong gap and left that opening.
Here's that tempo we talked about last drive. One more carry for Valentine. Stood up at the 48. He picks up 6 here on a productive first down carry.
Stood up? You mean picked up? First down carry. They did carry him. Thankfully for him, they put him down gently.
One week after Maryland's defense gave up 240 rushing yards to one guy, Antoine Raymond from Rutgers, done a really nice job shutting down the run today. Fake to Beatty. Altmaier escapes, gets away from the sack, then delivers it. It's too hot for Khalil Valentine. He had some zip on that pass.
Boy, what a job by Luke Altmaier even getting to the opportunity to deliver this football, because watch him duck under here on the edge. Zahir Mathis to get free, but just put a little bit too much heat on that one. Wrong pitch selection, but a nice job even getting the opportunity.
Illinois converted on half of its third downs today. Oh, free play. They're going to have a first down regardless. Down the seam to Clement. They won't need the 5 yards on the penalty. They're all the way down to the 25.
Well, you called it free, partner. They go with the clap. Get a jump
Offside.
along that defensive line.
Defense number 57. The penalty is declined.
It's Bryce Jenkins.
Play results in a first down.
Perfect throw up the seam to Hudson Clement. Got his first touchdown of the season earlier today.
And now he's responsible for the longest play today for Illinois' offense. 27 yards down to the 25.
Well, that's officially an explosive, right? More than 10 yards on a run, more than 20 yards on a reception. Key to winning football games: win the turnover battle, win the explosive battle.
Hand off to Valentine. This is not an explosive play. If anything, explosive by E.J. Moore to get into the backfield. A guy that they're really excited about. A backup defensive lineman, but because of injuries is getting more opportunities.
Yeah, and again, we talk about that youth and rolling those younger players in. And Ted Monachino, the defensive coordinator, talked about that with us. Got a lot of those young players that needed to rise up, and it's really been that lack of depth, especially along that defensive line. That's the reason that they've struggled stopping the run, but a nice job there.
Empty backfield for Altmaier. Looking left the whole way. Now scans, takes off. Altmaier sliding down near the 17. He's 2 yards shy of a first down.
We talked about Altmaier on the season, just a little over 100 yards rushing coming into today, but he had 88 against Rutgers a couple weeks ago. His legs have really been a difference today.
This time he hands it off to Valentine, trying to hop through. Nothing going. That Maryland defense stands strong. Jalen Husky leading the charge. Two-minute timeout here in Champaign. Illinois driving, trying to add to a 1-point lead late before halftime.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, Texas A&M gets all they can handle from a Gamecock team. Notre Dame dominated Pittsburgh in their final real test, plus Michigan on the ropes against Northwestern. Could they pull it out? Connor and Robert, find out at the half. See you then. Ooh, I'm pretty. I'm so pretty. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Mike.
The thrill looking like Thrilla in Manila. Stick and move, baby, stick and move. Getting that rope-a-dope.
4th and 1, offense stays on the field. Caden Fagan, the 255-pound running back, is in the game for the Illini. Altmaier rolls right, throws, Beatty's got it, and he's got the first down, spinning away before Husky drops him at the 13.
Boy, this is forcing your defender to just go so far. You get that run-pass option, you see that man-to-man coverage, and this is how they use Beatty so well. Get him on jet sweeps. You get him on that run-pass option to the outside. You have Husky in that man-to-man coverage. Go with that orbit motion. They know he's not going to be able to get back there in time to cover a guy like Beatty. Pick that first down up.
Well, Maryland uses its first timeout of this first half. 1:54 to go. Illinois picks up a crucial 4th down conversion. Chance for Luke Altmaier and company to add to a 7-6 lead right before halftime in a game that has been dominated by both defenses.
Keep an eye. Justin Bowick, 6'4", 210-pound target on the outside here.
11th play of the drive is a run for Caden Fagan. Just the 2nd carry for him today as he charges down to the 6.
Timeout, Maryland.
That's 6'3", 258 pounds, a running back getting up into the hole. You can see Scruggs coming up making a career choice. I shouldn't say that. He was going to take it on. Like, the reality is, though, you're 215-pound safety. Normally you're coming up to hit a running back. He doesn't outweigh you by 40 pounds, but that's the case with Fagan. They talked about his speed, though. Lunny said against SC, got clocked on the GPS like 21 miles an hour, which is frightening.
Yeah,
the guy that size running that fast. Like, I'm going low.
That just doesn't feel fair that you can run 21 miles per hour at 255 pounds. Good luck.
He's listed at 55. They said 58,
yeah.
So he's probably he's a hamburger over 60.
He stays on the field in the backfield behind Altmaier. 2nd down, give it to him one more time as he tumbles down to the 4. 3rd and short coming up.
Timeout, Maryland. Their 3rd and final charge timeout.
The Terps will take that final timeout before halftime. They're wanting to get the football back to see if they can do something before the break.
Yeah, and how many times have we seen Luke Altmaier's legs be the difference today? See, you at least want to get him on the edge with the opportunity to run it or throw it. See if they get him moving here.
Illinois won the toss and deferred, so they get the football back to start the 3rd quarter. So crucial to be able to try to add some points here with less than 2 minutes before halftime.
Yeah, and this is what Maryland doesn't want. It would be the 2nd week in a row because we were at that game in Piscataway a week ago against Rutgers. Rutgers scored a touchdown right before half. Maryland throws an interception, and then Rutgers got the ball scored first in the 2nd half. Don't want a repeat of that today.
3rd and 1. Fagan right up the middle. It's a touchdown. 6th rushing touchdown of the season for the local kid, Caden Fagan, to make it a touchdown lead for the Illini.
I want you to watch the left side of that offensive line. Josh Getske and J.C. Davis getting up to that second level. That was the difference right there. You get those linemen up to that second level, that means that they've done something on that first level. Easy run for Fagan to get that one in.
What a great drive, too, for Illinois right before halftime. 13 plays, more than 4.5 minutes off the clock for Brett Bielema's team to take an 8-point lead with just over 90 seconds before halftime.
See what kind of play calling Maryland goes with here. It was a week ago. They only had about 34 seconds left in that first half, and they got a little bit aggressive. Somewhat similar in that they didn't have any timeouts, a lot more time here. And talking to Pep Hamilton about that. So you don't want to predetermine throws. You don't want to throw late over the middle. And you don't want to throw blind as a quarterback. And he said Malik Washington did all three of those things on that one play on the interception that he threw right before half. But much more time to operate here. And Malik Washington been around this offense. Of course, he's a true freshman, but he's just a different kind of guy, and this is what we get from Mike Locksley and Pep Hamilton. Have known him since the 8th grade. The level of maturity that you get, the film that this guy watches, but just the poise that he has. He's just a different kind of guy. Bible verses in press conferences.
Well, the true freshman quarterback has 138 and no timeouts before halftime with his team down 8. They said they trust his decision-making process. He's young, but he is as advertised. They thought he was going to be the backup coming into the season, but Pep Hamilton, the offensive coordinator, said practice by practice, it got to the point where it was like, man, this guy's got every instinct you want out of a starting quarterback.
And it was delayed a little bit, too, because he was injured a little bit in camp. Of course, being a true freshman, first time on campus, tremendous development in a short amount of time.
Looks to throw on first down over the middle. That's behind Williams and nearly intercepted by Gabe Akis. Wow.
Boy, through the hands of DeJuan Williams, normally a reliable receiver, a little bit high and on the back shoulder, but that's one that Williams normally will catch.
Washington has been without Jalil Farouk, his leading receiver, the last couple drives. Have not seen him on offense or returning punts, is what he usually does too. Washington near sideline to Webb, who goes down and makes the catch at the 40, and the clock will stop as the chains move after 15 yards.
Well, a little bit low on that throw, and because he's low, yes, the clock does stop, but Webb wasn't able to run out of bounds. Line up, get moving quickly.
They do. Washington pumps, now fires left side. It's caught. Shalik Knotts does get out of bounds, and the clock stops after another 15 yards.
Well, that's a long throw from the opposite hash. You can see Tanner Heckel try and get that hand in late, but a nice job on the throw. Great by Knotts to get out of bounds. All the time in the world for this offense. 121.
They've only used 17 seconds so far on the first 3 plays, and they've gained 30 yards out of it.
So watch Washington's legs.
It's the arm again, launches down the seam, and that's just a little bit beyond Octavian Smith.
Well, and Octavian Smith, I think, was just a little bit late getting his eyes back to Malik Washington. You get another look at that, you're going to see he just gets his head around a little bit late, and by the time that ball's there, he doesn't have any chance to adjust on it. You got to expect the football. And you got to understand the timing. Your quarterback is going to be making that delivery. It's not going to be a 40-yard route. You got to get your head around so you can adjust on that.
Second down. Washington takes it into the flat. DeJuan Williams ripped out of bounds by Juice Clark.
Big third down. Sean O'Hare has kicked one from 49 on the season, so they would need about 10, 11 more yards to get into that kind of range. Here, you just want to pick up the first down.
Illinois taking a lot of time to get the subs off the field. Play clock is down to 2. They get it off just in time. Washington, short, incomplete. 6th straight third down that Illinois comes up empty. And we'll see what Mike Locksley decides to do with the offense in just 1:06 before halftime. Punt unit comes on.
Well, you know, Malik Washington, just a true freshman, and I think that he's going to learn better movement in the pocket as he gets older. I mean, this is a guy that's 6'5". You slide just a little bit, and you could make that throw so much easier to DeJuan Williams. And instead, he stays in the same place and throws that one blind and inaccurately.
Such a great start to the drive, but it stalls out. Beatty the fair catch at the 10. So Illinois, with exactly 1 minute to go, has all 3 timeouts, and we're about to find out how aggressive they're going to decide to be.
You got all the time in the world. You are going to have the ball in the second half, so that figures into it. But that's three timeouts in a minute. Absolutely. I mean, this is something that you're practicing all the time as an offense as well. These 2-minute type drills.
And with a quarterback that has so much experience, a third-year starter, and Luke Altmaier, who's a 5th-year senior. Chance to add to what is right now a 1-score lead with 60 seconds before halftime.
Yeah, and the thing to watch in situations like this, nope, they're just going to bleed the clock. Well, maybe not. Watch for double moves.
Altmaier to throw on first down. Delivers on the run. It was behind Hank Beatty, who twisted back to make the catch. He's got 9 yards. Clock rolls inside 50 seconds. They quickly rush up to the line. Another quick pass. It's the tight end, Cole Rusk. First down, chains move, and the clock stops momentarily. .37 seconds, all 3 timeouts. Luke Meyer scans, has a lot of time, drops it off to Fagan, the running back. There's the speed we just talked about for the big running back. He's got a first down with 15 yards.
And with that first down, stop the clock quickly, but they're going to have to get moving here. They've got 3 timeouts.
And they're going to use one of them here.
Yeah, you just don't want to save those things. You don't want to take those into halftime with you.
30 seconds.
That's the opportunity, because that opens up the middle of the field when you've got those timeouts. And you got defenders concerned about sidelines and those throws out there, and you go right down the middle of the field with some opportunities. You can do that another time. Of course, you want to save that last timeout. You get closer to field goal range.
Picked up 33 yards in 33 seconds. Just 27 seconds left. They're just shy of midfield. And David Alano's career long is 50 yards, so you'd think you need to get to about the plus 33 or so for him to have an opportunity to kick right before halftime.
And you're really thinking, you know, with this kind of time, you're probably thinking 3 plays tops to get that, but you may have an opportunity again down the middle of the field because you've got 1 timeout to burn.
Altmaier, and he just got it away in time. It's incomplete. Zaire Mathis got there quickly in the backfield.
Pass was intended for number 3, who was in the area. Down.
Boy, I'm surprised they didn't call him down. Looked like he was in the grasp of Mathis. Of course, it wasn't grounding, but He's losing the yardage there. Just kind of chucks it, but there was a receiver in the area.
Just avoids the sack, which would have been a disaster for Illinois.
But you only burned 5 seconds.
Altmaier, after the pump, runs, spins, first down, but there is a flag that we'll have to check on. And it might be coming back against Illinois on a holding.
Holding. Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty.
Brandon Henderson, you can see him pointing to his chest like, me? Me, number 75? That's always great. And Henderson's right there. Oh, yeah. He's grabbing the shoulder of Bryce Jenkins, the freshman. Get those hands outside of the frame. And
Illinois, their second of the half.
that's going to happen, especially when it's a run to the outside. Once they escape, you got to make sure that you let go. If by chance you're one of those offensive linemen that got that nice sneaky hold initially, but that one was so wide. You get the hands outside the frame like that, you almost have no choice.
Brett Bielema has to take that second timeout to stop the clock with just 16 seconds to go. 2nd and 20, all the way back at their own 33. So what was such a promising start to this drive after a few big pass plays, and they had all 3 timeouts at the time, but running out of time now.
And kind of looks similar to what we saw from Maryland, their first few plays. Of course, Maryland got a little bit further, but key difference, Illinois has the ball coming out second half.
Altmaier lets it rip down the seam, and it's picked off. Jalen Husky's team-leading 4th interception on a play that he laid out for it.
Boy, eyes back on the quarterback the whole time. Husky sitting back there, expecting that throw up the seam. Nice job going down to make that catch for the interception. You called it, partner. Look at that, laying out like that. We'll take another look at that, see if that thing hit the ground.
18th interception for Maryland. That leads the Big Ten. That's 2nd in all of college football.
Just some ball hawks on the back there, but they're going to take another look at this. We're getting some replays in the... I don't think that's going to be a catch. Looks like that ball pops up as it hits the ground. Now, of course, we talk about the ball hitting the ground in the process of a catch or an interception.
The play was an interception. The play's under further review.
And it looks like his hands are on top of the ball, and he's driving the ball down into the ground. Maybe we can bring Steve in, our rules expert, but I think this one's going to be overturned because it looks like as he's hitting the ground, that ball kind of pops up, and it doesn't look like clear control of the ball as it hits the ground.
Well, we do have the rules expert with Steve Stremlin. We'll bring him in for a 3rd time in this first half. Steve, do you think he had enough to keep this an interception?
You know, if they didn't rule it an interception, it looks like it's incomplete. What they have to go through is, does he have control? And when it hits the ground, is there any loss of control? You lose it a little as he rolls over, and you see that. I think it's real tight. I'm not sure if there's enough to change.
Yeah, always important to note the call on the field, which was an interception.
And Jalen Husky looks happy.
It's an interception. Maryland ball, 1st and 10.
Well, Steve just nailed that on the head, because I think if that's called incomplete on the field, Robert, then that's also going to be upheld.
Yeah, and the review rule really starts with the concept that the ruling on the field is assumed to be correct. So unless you have clear and obvious evidence to overturn it, they're going to stick with it. And they've gotten away from the language of it, but upheld.
So interception number 4 this season for Husky. He's letting you know, yep, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how many I've got on the year. Hey, no timeouts for Maryland. 11 seconds just outside of midfield. There is a flag on the play. Washington backpedaling and almost threw an interception to Tanner Heckel.
I think Akis may have been off sides on that one on the left side of the line. It looks like he lined up. Never got back.
Offside. Defense number 17 lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Spot on, partner.
Sometimes I see him the right way. Sometimes I just make it up. I'm just kidding. I don't do that. Boy, Akis, with all that speed he has off the edge, he doesn't need to line up off sides.
No.
And, you know, as a defensive line coach say, hey, hand behind the ball, head behind the hand. That way you stay on sides.
6 seconds, a time for a shot to the end zone. They go to the sideline. It falls incomplete. There is 1 second on the clock as that went through the hands of Smith. And so now they have one shot at the end zone.
Similar to what Rutgers had a week ago. A little bit longer. You really don't have the big targets on the outside. I guess Caleb Webb, 6'5", would go for him. Then you got Shalik Knotts, Mr. Touchdown. Less than 29 catches on the season, but 6 touchdowns.
Illinois does send pressure. Washington steps up, launches to the end zone, and it's intercepted. Miles Scott comes down with the pick to bring us to halftime. Back and forth first half has Illinois at home up by a score 14-6 on Maryland. We'll send you back to the LA studios. It's the State Farm, but since then it's been 5 consecutive losses. The first 3 in that stretch were by a combined 10 points, but it's been a couple blowout losses since then. A 45-point loss to Indiana, a 15-point loss last week to Rutgers. Mac Rasetic on the return, squeezing through the defense, and he's across the 30. Good starting field position for the Illini. Up a touchdown with Luke Altmaier and the offense coming back out here on the field to try to extend this lead.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments both of these coordinators make. Barry Lunney Jr., the offensive coordinator, and Ted Monachino. I think Ted Monachino, though, is a little bit more limited because of personnel issues. They've got so many players that are banged up on that side of the ball. You can only do so much changing, especially when you get new players in there. You don't want to try and disguise too much because guys get out of position.
First play of the third quarter, it's a handoff to Valentine, surging across the first down marker. He picks up 11 on the opening play.
Well, nice job on the edge of the offense here. You're going to see Arkin get the big block on Zahir Mathis. Gets that edge. We get Geske pulling around. And that's what they, you know that this is what Brett Bielema wants to be. I mean, whether it was when he was a player at Iowa, when he was at Wisconsin, line of scrimmage football team, multiple tight ends, smash mouth ball.
Fake the pass, they toss it to Valentine again after he just had his longest run of the day. He gets wrestled out of bounds after 8 more. 2 really productive runs to start the third quarter for Khalil Valentine.
And we talked about the way that this Maryland team has struggled on the defensive side of the ball. And of course, with the injuries stacking up, can get even worse. But they've been outscored in the fourth quarter of games, 82-27. They've just been wearing out in the second half. And the Illini want to help that along by trying to get a lot of physical runs to defend.
You would think that makes this third quarter all that much more important. Down a touchdown.
They were going to go blitz here and have it replaced there.
Instead, it's Valentine. He bounces off of one tackler, and he's got a first down. 14 carries for Khalil Valentine, which is well on his way to surpass his career high of 22 that he had against Purdue a few weeks back.
Yeah, just a sophomore, and of course with Fagan, you've got the big punishing back, and with Lawfrey, you've got more of the speed, and they really like Khalil Valentine, kind of the do-everything back. He's gotten better with his pass protection, which is so important for young running backs.
Altmyer wants to throw. He has time, flares it out to Beatty. Makes a move and ripped out of bounds at the 38. He's got 6 before Daniel Wingate's there.
Well, you never go broke taking a profit. And with Luke Altmyer, I think the maturity and working under Barry Lunny Jr., the offensive coordinator, you want to take those shots downfield, but sometimes just take that underneath throw. A nice gain, give you an opportunity to take a shot on 2nd and short.
I want to ask you something about Altmyer after this play here.
Hey, you can ask me anything.
I appreciate that. Give. Valentine straight up the middle. He's got a first down. So Barry Lunny was telling you and I yesterday that they give him freedom to make changes, but it's more post-snap than it is pre-snap, Robert. And everybody knows pre-snap is kind of checks at the line, audibles. What is the post-snap adjustments that they're allowing him to make?
Well, a lot of that would be on run pass option type plays, zone read type plays. Those are the decisions that the quarterback's going to make after the snap, kind of reading the leverage of the defense and the conflict player, but not necessarily having to be at the line of scrimmage and saying, because defense is so much, that's the cat and mouse game. We were talking about that with him, because coordinators a lot of time, they want to change the picture for quarterbacks after the snap, so they show them one thing, quarterback changes the play, and then they just do something different defensively.
Kept. Altmyer got away from 1, and he's down to the 23. He's about a yard shy of the line to gain.
Boy, and Scruggs got some penetration on that play, but a good read by Luke Altmyer. And well-timed question, partner. Perfect segue, as usual. That's one of those post-snap reads right there that a quarterback makes. Reading where defenders are, whether to hand that thing off or keep it himself, and that's the change that you make, the little zone read, little inverted veer that Gus Malzahn and Auburn made popular with Cam Newton, where the quarterback runs up the middle instead of the running back running up the middle.
Altmyer fakes the screen, now floats it to a wide-open man for a touchdown. Hudson Clement's 2nd today.
Well, I know Jalen Husky's not going to be real happy about this, and not sure what this call was. We see 2 defenders kind of going to that bubble screen. One of those guys has got to stay deep. And I don't know what their defensive call was from Ted Monachino, but both of those guys shouldn't have been reacting up to the bubble screen.
Barry Lunny Jr., the offensive coordinator, told us Hudson Clement is primed for a big game this week. 2 touchdown catches for the West Virginia transfer, and Illinois is up 2 scores. Tonight, it's a huge Fox College Hoops doubleheader. First at 7, it's an early season top 10 showdown as number 7 BYU takes on 3rd-ranked UConn. Then at 9, Dawn Staley leads her 2nd-ranked South Carolina squad against number 8 USC, and what you might call the battle to be the real USC. That's tonight, only on Fox. 7 plays, 67 yards, 4 minutes off the clock. And Barry Lunny told us yesterday, unprompted, Robert, it wasn't even a question about Hudson Clement, but he said, we think he's poised for a big game this week, and he's got a couple touchdown catches now.
And of course, for this Maryland squad, just like they did against Rutgers a week ago, gave up a touchdown before half, gave up a touchdown first drive of the second half. Struggling in that middle 8. We'll see what they can do here offensively. And we talked about it. You can see in that wonderful graphic there, first quarter, 63 yards. And since then, 8 of 18 for 77 yards and that one interception.
Such an efficient start. Mike Locksley and company got a lot of quick passes out early. He was 5 for 5 on the opening drive. But since then, this Illinois defense has been so good. They've forced just 2 field goals, no touchdowns allowed in the first half. Williams, instead kept by Malik Washington, had that defense crashing down on DeJuan Williams, and Washington picked up a couple.
That's Aaron Henry, the defensive coordinator, though, talking about that early down success and talk about the struggles that Maryland's had on third down. They were 1 for 7 in that first half, missing on their last 6, struggling early downs.
Passes caught. DeJuan Williams, they won't have to worry about third down right now. That's enough to move the chains on second down after 10 yards.
Yeah, and this is something that Pep Hamilton, the offensive coordinator, had talked to Malik Washington about as well. That same philosophy, don't be scared to take those underneath throws. And that's always the balance for a young quarterback, when to take risks.
Washington drops it off again. It was batted up in the air. Falls incomplete. Kurt Neal got a hand on it. The big 6', 310 nose tackle in the middle.
Well, you called it, partner, and he timed that thing perfectly. Smart play there. Not getting that hand up too early so the quarterback could throw around it. Threw that thing up late, knocked it out of the air. And here we go. Second down.
Brett Bielema calls the forgotten down. Washington lost it over the top to Williams, shakes away down to the 40. He picks up 5, and it's Matthew Bailey, the leading tackler for Illinois, with the stop.
And you can see he's got that club because of that injury to the right thumb. Really tough for him to make wraps on tackles, but he's just such a great player, a physical player, and defensive coordinators say it all the time. You got to get your body on that other body to make the tackle. No problem with that with Bailey. Big third down here. Looks like they're manned up across the board. Watch for Malik Washington's legs.
Maryland has not converted on its last 6 third downs. Washington tipped at the line again. Second time in the last 3 plays that happened. And the punt unit has to come out for the Terrapins.
Well, I really like the rush plan of Aaron Henry. Very disciplined. They know what kind of legs Malik Washington has, how dangerous he can be if he takes off. Nice disciplined rush. Don't get past the depth of the quarterback. Compress the pocket in the middle, give him nowhere to go, then knock that thing out of the air. This looks like it's a different kind of look from the punt team than they're used to seeing. So watch for the fake.
There's a flag. Short punt, out of bounds. 3 different flags on the field.
I'm guessing there was probably too many players in the backfield. That's because when you get those kind of formations, it's tough to tell who's supposed to be on the ball, off the ball.
Illegal substitution. Offense had 12 players on the field for the play. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. First down, Illinois. Timeout.
Just a 27-yard punt there. Illinois' offense takes over with a 15-point lead. The defensive line making a big impact on that drive for the Illini. Illinois' offensive coordinator Barry Lunney called his shot with us yesterday in the meeting. Said Hudson Clement is poised for a big game tomorrow. 2 touchdown catches today, Robert.
Yeah, not to take anything away from the performance, but he had some defensive breakdowns as well. But I think you could kind of see Hudson Clement getting more comfortable in this offense. The transfer from West Virginia. Maryland defense certainly not helping themselves. Defender falling down. Miscommunication, it looks like, on the bubble screen. Credit, though, to this Illini offense and Barry Lunney Jr., their offensive coordinator, and, of course, Luke Altmaier delivering that rock and Hudson Clement bringing it in.
No touchdown catches in the first 8 weeks for Clement. He's got 3 touchdown grabs in the last 2 games. Altmaier rolling right. And he just has to get rid of it. Wisely throws it out, avoiding the sack.
Well, nice job on the back end that time. You can tell Ted Monachino, defensive coordinator, had everybody ready for that little rollout from Luke Altmaier. And you said it, partner, you know, sometimes the best decision is to live to fight another down for a quarterback. Sometimes those throws that you don't make are the best decisions.
Had 5 touchdowns last time out, 4 of them passing, 1 rushing. It's a stellar day for Altmaier. Valentine shakes away from 1, and he gets upended right at the line of scrimmage.
Nice job from Lakai Rowland. And then Keyshawn Flowers coming up. You see some fight on this team. And look, I know that there are some Maryland fans frustrated. 7th year for Mike Locksley. Of course, as he says, you know, it's not 7th year. It's for a lot of these players, a lot of young players. But these guys play hard even when they're down in games.
He said he's frustrated too, but he said it's year 1 for 64% of the roster. Altmaier evading pressure. To the sideline, it's caught. What a catch by Justin Bowick, toe tapping the sideline for 13 yards.
Luke Altmaier barely escapes Zahir Mathis. Jeez, Zahir Mathis coming right there, and he wanted a flag, some sort of block in the back, but you know, you're in the pocket like that, and you can pretty much do whatever you want. It's open season on those defenders, and he was angry, but Altmaier did a nice job escaping and still delivering with some accuracy.
Catch that was good on Sunday, by the way. Got both feet in. Give to Caden Fagan. Charging down to the 40. He picks up 8 to set up 2nd and short.
But this is a situation where Barry Lunny, the offensive coordinator, of course, Brett Bielema, we know what kind of background he has. That experience being around those big offensive line. You get with Bart Miller, the offensive line coach, said, hey, we're going to bust them in the mouth now. We're going to run the football, but here again, these 2nd and short situations, offensive coordinators love taking shots in situations like this.
Instead, they'll hand it off. Fagan again, powerful run, breaking free down to the 30. 10 more for Caden Fagan, and this is such a good thunder and lightning combination.
Yeah, it certainly is, and you can see Brandon Henderson, the right guard, gets up to the linebacker, and this is where it can get ugly for a defense like Maryland. We've talked about it. Over the last 4 weeks, they've given up more than 1,000 yards rushing. 360 yards to Indiana a couple of weeks ago, 260 plus to Rutgers last week. They're kind of thin on that defensive line, and we know the Illini want to pound it.
They will with Caden Fagan one more time down to the 27 for about 3 more. They had done a really nice job in the first half, Robert, stopping that run, but I think, like you said, just the lack of depth is kind of tearing away at Maryland in this second half.
Yeah, and people say it all the time, and I think it's true. I mean, they're like body blows in a boxing match. Throw the Hill knows that. Stick and move. You get those body blows, they accumulate over a course of a game. Defensive line gets tired and starts making mistakes jumping off sides. But we'll see here.
Offside. Defense number 57. Make contact. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
This is Bryce Jenkins, young freshman along that defensive line. And you know, you talk about that lack of depth, partner, and those guys get tired and a little bit undisciplined, right? Because you're just not thinking the way that you normally do when you're nice and fresh. That's the thing that you haven't seen. We just haven't seen much rotation because they don't feel that they have the quality depth to get those other players on the field.
Keep it on the ground with Caden Fagan following a block to the right side. It's enough to move the chains. And you can tell Illinois made it an emphasis coming out in the second half, Robert, to just pound the rock.
Yeah, and the problem that you face as a defensive coordinator like Ted Menachino for Maryland here is you just have to stop the bleeding. And the things that you do, what do? You have more movement along the defensive line. So you kind of stunt and angle, which can get you out of position. But then you have to place a man-to-man on the outside to commit extra bodies to the box, and that leaves you exposed for those shot plays here on the fringe of the red zone.
This time it's Khalil Valentine after 4 straight carries for Caden Fagan. He's twisted down by Keyshawn Flowers on a short gain. And a lot of that, too, is the experience of this Illinois offensive line. There are multiple guys on that offensive line who are multi-year starters.
Yeah, I think, being a former running back, I'm always going to give those guys their love. But I think it's so important for offensive lines to have continuity. They kind of all see things the same way, and you hear so many coaches around the country, and, Pep Hamilton talked about that with their offensive line. All those same guys all year long. Talk about it in a second.
Mario Sanders off the edge, curling around the perimeter to the pylon. No signal. They say he's down at the 1.
Well, watch the little move at the line of scrimmage here. He's going to make the little dip and then bounce and then turn on the speed to the outside. Oh, it looked like he was trying to absorb the hit from Scruggs coming there.
Slowed down.
Yeah, and he slid that foot. That's some inexperience right there. You just got to keep running or go up over the top.
Goes for 18. It's 1st and goal from the 1. Valentine gets stood up. Nasir Taylor with a punishing hit in the backfield.
Another true freshman, another guy from Maryland, another guy playing with some emotion. Forget about the scoreboard. My job stays the same, whether it's 21-6, tied up, or we're leading. You just love to see that, man. You just love to see players playing with that kind of fire. Doesn't matter what the score is, they show up the same way.
Such a young defense for Maryland that plays a lot of true freshmen that they're really excited about. Valentine comes out of the game. Caden Fagan, the big running back in. Fake it to him. Throw. Caught near the goal line. And he's down. Colin Dixon. That's Jamari Glasker with a great tackle right in front of the goal line.
Well, we talk about Glasker and how he pops. Watch him come from this safety position. He sees it the whole way. He knows exactly what's coming from Dixon in the Illini offense. Not only does he react, but he comes in with the proper form, keeps those legs driving, allows a little help to show up. Textbook play there.
Valentine back in the game now, the running back. 12th play of the drive, 3rd and goal from the 1. They keep it with Altmaier. He's spun away, and he's sacked or dropped behind the line. Michael Harris is there for the Terps.
Boy, Michael Harris, remember, because of all the injuries at the linebacker spot, got so many new faces. Got Harris.
Illinois, number 64, lost his.
Got to change. Little wind noise. But you just love seeing that intensity from this Maryland defense. Tough spot for them.
Offense does stay on the field here on a 4th and goal from the 1. It was 1st and goal from the 1. What an opportunity this is for the Maryland defense.
I want the ball in Altmaier's hands on the edge, opportunity to throw or run it in.
That's what they've got. Right side, Altmaier pumps. Altmaier running out of room, and it's batted away. From 1st and goal from the 1, the Maryland defense stands tall on the goal line.
Boy, did they miss a face mask call on C.J. Smith there?
What a stop by the Terrapins defense. From 1st and goal from the 1, Maryland's defense gets a stop on 4th and goal from the 1, but you said it before the timeout, Robert, Maryland got away with a face mask.
Yeah, it's clear face mask here, and, you know, the sign really, from certain angles, there are only some things that can make the helmet move in relation to a jersey and the rest of the uniform in a certain way. It looked like a face mask just by the way that his helmet moved, and you could see it confirmed there on the replay.
Maryland offense takes over from their own 2. Washington zips it to the sideline, and there's nobody home.
Well, you got your true freshman quarterback here. Make the decision to throw on 1st down, leave yourself in 2nd and 10. And what we have not seen with the number of yards that they have rushing for the day, 33. They had 265 yards rushing a week ago. Excuse me, more than 300 yards rushing a week ago. A lot of that was Malik Washington. Use his legs here.
Quarterback will spray it out. It's caught by Williams. Stutter steps, and he's across the 10. That's close to the line to gain.
Oh, nice job by Washington changing the arm angle on that one late. And Williams getting up the sideline. That's a huge 1st down, deep in your own territory.
Catch number 6 for the running back, Williams, by the way, who's got the football here on the ground, and he picks up 3 more. Matthew Bailey comes in from the linebacker spot for the tackle.
Try and get that run established, and they're going with some tempo here. This is where you go with that play action and then get a shot downfield.
Takes the check down. Williams, 7th catch out of the backfield, and then he got punished at the 25, but it is a 1st down after 10 more.
They high-low you. It's all right. Daniel Brown comes in with the big stick, and you can tell Williams a little bit gassed.
Washington down the seam, caught by Knotts, and he's down to the ground immediately.
Lots of defenders around him, nobody making a hit, and I think this is kind of wearing that Illinois defense out. And because he's going with the tempo, not giving him time to substitute.
Empty backfield after a 19-yard pass play to Shalik Knotts. Brings us to the end of the 3rd. Illinois at home, up a couple scores. It's 21-6 as we head to the final 15 minutes from Champaign on FS1. Another weekend in Champaign, another win for Red Grange.
Yeah, not the greatest of starts, but it wouldn't have mattered here. You can see with the turnover and the stride length that Red Grange has, he's going to take this one without much trouble. I'd like to see a race between him and Mr. Freeze.
Yes, that would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Mr. Freeze is like running 150 yards, though. I don't know.
First play of the 4th quarter.
There it is.
Washington holds on to it, and you've been asking for it all day to get the quarterback run game going.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of speed option there that they tried, and clearly the Illini defense was ready for this one. You saw a lot of that from Rutgers a week ago. Malik Washington went for 164 yards rushing in that game, including a 75-yarder on the 2nd play of the game.
Fakes the handoff, slings it over to the left sideline. It was through the hands of Caleb Webb, incomplete. 3rd down coming up for Maryland.
And went with old school play action there, and Greg Roman, who had been the offensive coordinator years before Pep Hamilton was the offensive coordinator at Stanford, said it best: you're not pulling linemen, then it's not really play action, but you got to make the catch. And here's the opportunity on 3rd down. It's Aaron Henry dial up some heat. False start.
This will back him up.
False start. Offense number 61, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
It's Michael Hershey, the center for Maryland, called for the false start. That backs him up 5 more yards.
Boy, and those are the things, of course, pre-snap administrative type penalties, especially here on the road. You have to expect a situation like this. You go from 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 9. Now Aaron Henry can get those safeties up over the top, try and protect the sticks.
Washington sets, sidearm delivery, it's caught. Shalik Knotts with the catch, but that was an incredible throw from the freshman Malik Washington.
Boy, you called it, partner. Watch him slide late in the pocket here and then have to contort his body, sidearm throw like he's turning two. Man, that was just perfect.
That was incredible. First 3rd down conversion in their last 9 tries, by the way. Takes the check down, another catch for Williams, the running back out of the backfield. He's got 6.
Boy, I just love what they're doing on this drive, and they're really making this Illinois defense defend the entire field. Mixing in some of the QB run. Malik Washington doing a nice job hitting his check down when it's available, taking his shots when he can. An incredible throw on 3rd down.
A drive that started all the way back at their own 2. Lost it to the sideline. It's pulled in inside the 20 by Caleb Webb.
Yeah, I think we had a mix-up on the outside on that one. Juice Clark. He came off of his responsibility or thought there was going to be some safety help. Not sure what the defensive call was, but clearly out of position.
By far the best Maryland has moved the football today. Give Williams, shakes loose, stutter steps, drags a defender with him down to the 8.
Matthew Bailey, number 7. We talked about him, what a physical safety he is, but he's playing with that club and he shoots his shot. Tries to make tackle in the backfield, misses. Empty look here. Watch the legs of Malik Washington.
Looking end zone. Too far for Caleb Webb. 3rd and 2 coming up for Maryland.
Too far, wrong side of him. I think they were just seeing things a little bit differently. And I think down 21-6 in this situation. This is 4-down territory.
13th play of the drive coming. Started all the way back at their own 2. They've picked up 90 yards. They need 8 more for a touchdown. Give. Williams stumbles, and he's got the 1st down. 1st and goal coming up for the Terps.
Nice physical run by Dewan Williams. Finds that cutback lane. We talked so many times about the importance of that initial track for the running back, drawing that defense to one side and then cutting it back against the grain.
They need 6 here. Williams twisted to the ground, no gain. It's Alec Bryant there for Illinois.
Big change in the personnel here.
Gives Illinois an opportunity to sub as well. And they are not quick about making it happen either.
Got Iverson Howard in the backfield, the true freshman. And you got Eli Mason at that fullback spot. Expect something tricky.
They'll roll out. Washington trying to direct traffic to the end zone. Juggled and incomplete. A.J. Szymanski was there in the end zone, but couldn't come down with it, and it's 3rd and goal.
Well, you can't blame Malik Washington on this one. I think he makes perfect throw here.
Oh, man.
It just goes right through the hands of Szymanski. Throwing back against the grain. Malik Washington did what he needed to do. We got 2 downs to get it here. Much like I said, on the other side with Luke Altmaier, I'd like to get Malik Washington on the edge.
They go to Williams. Hopping away from one, he gets stood up at the 3. It's Miles Scott there to make the stop, and like you said, it's 4-down territory, being down 15 in the 4th.
Boy, I'm not crazy about that call right there. I mean, you got 2 downs to make it, I understand, but if I'm taking 2 chances, getting Malik Washington with an opportunity to run or throw that thing in.
17th play of the drive is do or die on 4th and goal. Washington looks left, now scans back to the middle. Washington, sidearm, end zone, incomplete. Wanted Dorian Fleming is tied in, but a 17-play drive comes up empty for Mike Locksley's team. A drive that started at their own 2. Stop on 4th and goal.
Well, welcome back to Champaign. The Illini have a 21-6 lead, and they're going to have the ball back after this 4th down miss. I want you to take a look at Shalik Knotts, and he's going to work his way across the field here. And you call these kind of pick plays because you're anticipating man. And look, it's easy for me to say standing up here in the booth that Malik Washington should have seen Shalik Knotts break free there, but he doesn't. He still had an opportunity. He made a good throw. Fleming just should have caught it.
A 17-play drive, no points. That would have pulled this down to 1 score. Altmaier's pass is batted up in the air. It's incomplete.
Well, that's a tough situation to be in right there. But, you know, we talked about the poise of Luke Altmaier all day long, and the unblocked player, and that's what you're supposed to expect on those boots like that, right? Like, that's the first thing you're, hey, somebody may be free, so don't panic. A nice job getting that thing out of there.
Kept Altmaier, all kinds of space down the sideline, and he's wrestled out of bounds near the 30 by Lakai Rowland, and then multiple flags fly in at the end of the play.
Yeah, I know they're going to be upset about that one, but it looked like Altmaier was, you know, kind of still moving his feet. He didn't know where he was on the field, and Rowland pulls him down, but it's as much probably because he loses his balance because Altmaier's kind of trucking him. And, you know, this is one Barry Lunny Jr. has got to say to his quarterback, look, you've gained enough on this play. You know, just get out of bounds. And, you know, you're thinking about running some clock, but if you're going to stay in bounds, slide. If you're going to get out of bounds, get out of bounds.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds, unnecessary roughness, defense number 27, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
27 yards on the run plus 15 yards on the late hit from Rowland. 42 yards in total on that play for Illinois.
Yeah, and I don't want to make excuses for Rowland. Yeah, I mean, he has to know where he is on the field as well, but it looked like he was kind of getting trucked on that one.
Yeah,
but, you know, hey, defensive players, you know, they'll try and get whatever edge they can. Like, hey, it wasn't my fault. I just pulled him down accidentally.
Inside 10 to go, 2-touchdown lead for Illinois. They keep it on the ground, trying to work that clock with Khalil Valentine picking up 3.
And I expect to see a lot of that right now with this kind of lead and the mentality that this team has. From Brett Bielema to Barry Lunny Jr., the offensive coordinator, Bart Miller, the offensive line coach. They want to be physical. They've got the guys to do it. Grind some clock, force Maryland into man-to-man with a loaded box, and then throw one up over the top.
Another give to Valentine. Shakes loose down to the 46. Little bit shy of the marker. 3rd and 1, maybe less than that, coming up for the Illini.
Nice job, Valentine, hugging the blocks of those offensive linemen. What I mean by that, he's staying tight, not getting too far on those cutbacks. If you do that, it makes it difficult for defenders to come in and get those shots as soon as you break free. Here we go, 3rd and short. You got your big back, Caden Fagan, in the backfield, and a lead blocker.
Beatty in motion. They hand it off to Jordan Anderson, the fullback, bouncing away. Stiff arms a defender, and he swats him away down to the 26. 20 yards for Anderson.
Surprise, surprise. You get Anderson lined up here. Hand it off to him. Some bad angles on the back end, and then Scruggs comes up, and you called it. Anderson knocks those hands away, picks up a few extra yards, stays in bounds.
Entered the day 5 carries for 5 yards total on the season. He just picked up 20 there on a 3rd and 1.
This is a 4-minute mentality for sure. You can see they're going to try and get that play clock down as low as they can and hand it off to 258 pounds of running back here.
They will give it off to Caden Fagan. He surges across the 20 to pick up 8.
Well, it's a tough spot for this defense, and unfortunately something that Maryland's dealt with all year. Outscored 82-27 in the 4th quarters all season long. And not a lot of depth along that defense, or on that defensive line in particular. And of course, add that today, some of the injuries at linebacker, Reddick out and Wingate injured.
This is Fagan. Second effort as he gets twisted down across the 15, and Illinois has gone over 200 yards rushing on the night.
Well, you talk about the speed of Caden Fagan getting up over 21 miles an hour on that screen at USC, but he's got some agility to him too. Get some light feet. You see him moving in the hole, multiple cuts. You don't see that a lot from guys his size that have that type of lateral movement. He kind of stays light on his feet.
The power, the speed, the twitchiness, he's got some wiggle to him, everything you want in a running back.
I thought you were describing yourself there. He's got the power, the speed, the wiggle, the jorts.
Yeah, there you go. Altmaier, nowhere to go. He kept it on the option, and he is dropped for a loss of 4 by Nasir Taylor and Keyshawn Flowers.
Boy, now it's a time issue too.
Yep.
Because a field goal here makes it a 3-score game. Only 15 right now.
They have taken off more than 5 minutes on the clock. Altmaier fakes the throw, holds on to it, straight up the middle. Altmaier to the pylon, touchdown Illinois. There is a flag in the backfield to check on.
I think this may be on Khalil Valentine, who kind of led Altmaier up through the hole. Oh, no, he's pointing back at a lineman. Might be pointing back at Priestley.
Holding. Offense number 5. 10-yard
Oh,
penalty.
no, it was. Okay.
Repeat first down.
Yeah, on the live look on this one, Valentine's going to be the lead blocker, and he's going to get his hands
There you go.
on Flowers. And just gets those hands outside the frame, and you know, it's not what you do a lot, right? Like blocking somebody in the open field, and what you have to learn in situations like that is just give them away. You don't have to grab. You get those hands in. You want to make sure that you keep them inside the frame, kind of go in low with the hands and punch up. but more importantly, just get in the way and let the ball carry your side.
Illinois obviously would have taken the points, but this gives them an opportunity to just keep winding the clock, too.
Yep.
Valentine lowers the shoulder, driven backwards for no gain. And C.J. Smith, the backup linebacker who's in place of Trey Reddick today.
Timeout.
You can see Loxley
Maryland,
goes timeout.
Their first of the half. Please reset the game clock to 4:45. This is a full media timeout.
Under 5 to go in the fourth quarter. Maryland down 15.
Tomorrow on Fox, Caleb Williams and the Bears battle Justin Jefferson and the Vikings. Sam Darnold and the Seahawks take on Matthew Stafford and the Rams for control of the NFC West, or other regional action. Check local listings for the game in your area. Only on Fox.
Certainly you don't care who wins that Vikings-Bears game, right?
Yeah. Why would I care?
Well, been a good day for Luke Altmaier in Illinois. Up 15, 4:45 to go. In the fourth quarter, they've got a 3rd and 20 coming up from the 25. Altmaier looks to throw, dumps it off. It's caught. Justin Bowick down the sideline, and he's tripped up just shy of the 15. And there's a player down in the backfield for Illinois. It's one of the offensive linemen, Melvin Priestley.
Priestley, the right tackle. Transfer from Grambling.
Officials timeout for an injury. Number 58 of Illinois must leave the game for one down.
I think they got the field goal unit coming out.
They do have the field goal unit coming out, and there is a group of people holding their breath on this kick. It is important for some. A 33-yard attempt for David Alano. Has hit from as long as 46 this season. Good snap and hold, kick on the way, and he got it.
And some are very happy, some aren't.
18 is the lead for Illinois. Three-score lead for Illinois over Maryland with 4:19 to go. And the last time Malik Washington and the Terps had the football on offense, they had an opportunity to cut it to a one-score game. They went 17 plays, 95 yards on a drive that started all the way back at their own 2, but couldn't find the goal line on a 4th and goal from the 3. It resulted in no points.
And as it stands on the season now, they've been outscored in the fourth quarter 85-27.
And on the verge of a 6th consecutive loss after opening the season 4-0.
They had an opportunity on that last drive to get a touchdown. You really can't fault Malik Washington. A couple opportunities dropped in the end zone by his receivers. Both of his tight ends, Szymanski and Dorian Fleming, had a chance.
Yeah, the 2nd and goal and the 4th and goal plays put it right where he needed to, but a couple drops from the tight ends. It's Octavian Smith on the screen, and he's wrestled down at the 30 after 5 yards to begin the drive.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like much. You just learn so much about a young team. When we talk about coming into this game, almost 70% of their offensive touches have come from underclassmen, including their true freshman quarterback.
He zips it to the near sideline. There's one of those drops again. And it's Fleming's 2nd in as many drives.
Yeah, the normally sure-handed Fleming who leads Big Ten tight ends. 33 catches coming in. And got to convert here to extend this drive. Well, it's 4-down territory, so they need to convert in these next 2 plays.
Washington was looking near sideline. Now rolls right. There is a flag thrown.
Now it's going to be 3rd and 15. third and close to 20. Oh, that's
Holding,
right, 3rd and 15.
Offense number 75. The penalty is declined. Fourth
Oh,
down.
let's go 4th down. Okay.
Yeah, make it 4th down instead.
I don't know. That's not that long of a 4th down. They're going to punt it. That's surprising.
Wow. I mean, I get where you're at on the field, but down 3 scores, I don't know what the punt accomplishes.
No idea, partner. Got to go for it there.
Yeah, I'm with you. McPherson to punt it away. Hank Beatty has to retreat backwards. He holds it in near the 10. First time today that the lethal punt return man has had an opportunity. He gets to the perimeter, and he gets crushed from behind near the 25. 3:28 to play. Illinois with the football and up 3 scores. Well on their way to 7-3. Brett Bielema's head coaching journey began in Madison, Wisconsin, where he won the Big Ten Coach of the Year in 2006. He won 3 Big Ten titles in 7 years. Then he goes to Arkansas. Didn't go the way he wanted. 4 games under 500. Comes here to Illinois, and he is 328 away from having the most wins ever by an Illinois head coach through the first 5 seasons.
Yeah, it was interesting. I heard some comments Coach Bielema apparently made about how when he went to Arkansas, felt he, could kind of be the combination of Vince Lombardi and Bear Bryant. And I think that experience kind of humbled him, sent him back to the coaching philosophy drawing board, spent some time with Bill Belichick, and he's doing an excellent job here.
Caden Fagan on the first play, he has 8 yards. An Illinois team that went 10-3 last year. They had really high expectations coming into this season. At one point, they were top 10 in the country at 9th. First time that had happened in 24 years. But 3 losses in Big Ten play, and 2 of them coming to the top 2 teams in the country. Let's put an end to those extremely high expectations.
Yeah, it's just a different game now, quite literally, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just NIL, portal, the way that things are, free agency in football, open season.
Fagan, first down, lowering the shoulder, continuing to run down to the 41. Whew, that is a big fella at running back.
Yeah, it is, and it's Christian Abney. Used to be at Ball State.
Chirp, chirp.
Yeah, but he felt the wrath of Caden Fagan, all 258 pounds of him. That's why you chop your feet. You keep moving your feet when you're blocking for a guy like that. Extra motivation. You don't want that guy running up your back.
Illinois can bring it to the 2-minute warning.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
And I assume Mike Locksley won't be using those timeouts. Under 2 minutes here in Champaign. Home team up 24-6 when we get back.
Two minutes away from a 7th win on the season for Luke Altmaier in Illinois, who is already bowl eligible for back-to-back seasons for the first time since 2010-2011. With 6 wins and a couple minutes away from number 7.
And of course, on the other side, Maryland needs to beat Michigan and Michigan State over their last 2 games to become bowl eligible.
Started the year 4-0, but about to make it a 6-game losing streak and have to win each of the last 2 in order to play in a bowl game. Fagan up the middle. 6 yards.
Well, he was going to burn those timeouts.
Mike Locksley will take the first
Timeout.
of 2 remaining.
Maryland, their second of the half. 30-second timeout.
Fans letting you know what they think about that.
Well, he only has 1 more timeout, so At 20 seconds max.
There is that remaining schedule you talked about. Top 20 game at home against Michigan next week, followed by a road game at Ford Field in Detroit against Michigan State to wind down the season a couple days after Thanksgiving. Need to win both of them to get to that all-important 6-win mark and become bowl eligible. Fagan, first down.
And that'll do it. I don't think he'll call that last time out now.
No. Couple kneel downs, and Illinois will be able to walk out of here with an 18-point win to move to 7-3 on the season. And don't forget, we've got Purdue and Washington coming up right after this out in Seattle, right here on FS1. An Illinois team that really just wore down Maryland defensively in the second half, ran for 227 yards today, and that's been one thing Maryland's really struggled with, being able to stop the run. Win number 35 for Brett Bielema, most ever by an Illinois head coach in his first 5 seasons, and he's got a chance for a couple more.
And I love the attention to detail and the commitment to what it takes to be a great coach. You know, even in the bye week, sleeping at the facility, trying to find those little edges, self-scouting. How do we all get better?
Win number 7 on the season for Brett Bielema's team, his 35th in his Illinois tenure. No head coach in Illinois history has had more through 5 seasons than Brett Bielema, as Maryland drops a 6th consecutive game after a 4-0 start.